Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, so last time we really got into the weeds with FLR.
We did.
You know how it works, all the ins and outs, all the...
Bringing Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin, DOGE into the world of smart contracts?
Right, exactly, and giving them those smart contract capabilities, even though they weren't built that way.
Yeah.
And with the State Connector and with the FLR Time Series Oracle, we really got into it.
Uh-huh.
So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of compare FLR to another project in the space.
Okay.
And I think Hedera is a really interesting one to contrast it with.
Absolutely, yeah.
So where should we start with this?
Well, let's start with what is similar between the two, and then we can dive into the differences.
Okay, great.
So one of the things that's very similar is they both have utility tokens.
Okay.
So FLR and HBAR, both of those are really the lifeblood of their ecosystem.
Okay, so just so we're all on the same page here.
Sure.
What exactly is a utility token?
A utility token is something that allows you to perform specific actions on that blockchain platform.
Okay, so it's not just like a...
It's not just a speculative investment.
Yeah.
It actually has a purpose.
Okay, cool.
Within that network.
Got it.
So that's one of the similarities.
Okay, so they both have these utility tokens, FLR and HBAR.
Yeah.
But how can we even compare, like, how big they could get, like, what their potential is?
Yeah.
Like, what metric should we even use?
So one thing you can use is what's called the total addressable market.
Okay.
Or TAM for short.
TAM, okay.
And what that means is how big is the market that this token could potentially reach based on its use cases.
So if a token is designed for like decentralized finance or something, its TAM would be like the total size of the DeFi market.
Exactly. And I will say this with TAM is it's all very speculative.
Okay.
It's really just a thought exercise.
Yeah.
Don't take this as financial advice.
Noted. Not financial advice.
Right, too.
TAM's more of a thought exercise.
Yeah, just a thought exercise to kind of think about, okay, how big could this potentially be?
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. FLR versus Hedera. Round one.
Round one, let's go.
Where should we even start with this comparison?
Well, the heart of any blockchain is its consensus mechanism.
Okay.
How does it determine what transactions go through, what order they go through?
Okay.
And is it secure? Is it fast?
Right, so it's like the rules of the game.
It is the rules of the blockchain.
Okay, so how does Hedera approach that?
Hedera uses something called a hash graph.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Which is based on a DAG.
Okay.
Which is a directed acyclic graph.
I was going to say, directed acyclic graph.
And it's known for its speed and its security.
Okay.
And Hedera actually has a governing council made up of very large enterprises, Google, IBM, Boeing, and many others.
So it's a pretty centralized...
It is centralized in that sense.
Yeah, okay. And how is that different or similar to how FLR does it?
FLR actually uses an avalanche-derived consensus model.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that from our other deep dive.
So it's also known for its speed.
Okay.
But FLR has something very unique called the State Connector.
The State Connector, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it brings...
That's how it bridges in other chains.
Bitcoin and all that?
Bitcoin, XRP, Litecoin.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Hedera has this hash graph thing.
Yeah.
And FLR has this avalanche-derived thing. But they're both, like, focused on speed and security.
They are.
But in terms of, like, actual performance, which one is actually faster?
So Hedera has actually been tested.
Okay.
And it can achieve thousands of transactions per second.
Thousands?
Thousands of transactions per second.
Wow.
With a very fast finality and very low fees.
Okay, so Hedera's like a well-oiled machine at this point.
It is.
It's like it's been running for a while.
Yes.
It's got all the kinks worked out.
Yeah.
So very fast, very cheap.
Yeah.
What about FLR?
FLR's performance is still being tested at scale.
Okay.
But the underlying technology is designed for high throughput and low latency.
Okay, so it has the potential.
It has the potential.
But we haven't really seen it yet.
Yeah, not at that scale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so beyond just how fast they are, what about smart contracts? Like, what could you actually do on these platforms?
Both of them are EVM compatible,
which
is great for developers.
So they both speak Solidity.
They both speak Solidity, yeah.
Okay.
But FLR really emphasizes their F-asset system, which allows you to take things like XRP and Litecoin and bring them into the world of smart contracts and wrap them so they can be used.
So you can use XRP in DeFi?
Yeah, you can use XRP in DeFi. You can use it for NFTs.
Wow. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
What about Hedera?
Hedera focuses more on the enterprise tools.
Okay.
Like the Hedera Consensus Service.
Okay.
Or HCS.
Okay.
And that's really good for things like logging data.
Auditing transactions.
Okay.
Supply chain management.
So it's more for like businesses and large organizations, more enterprise focused.
Okay, so FLR is more DeFi and NFT focused.
Yeah.
Hedera is more like business and enterprise focused.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about oracles? We're talking about like smart contracts and stuff, but smart contracts need data.
They do need data.
How do these platforms handle that?
FLR has a native decentralized Oracle system called the FLR Time Series Oracle, or FTSO.
Right. We talked about that a lot last time.
Yeah.
So it's got its own like built-in data system.
It does. What about Hedera?
Hedera does not have a native Oracle system.
Oh, okay.
They usually rely on third-party solutions.
Okay.
Like Chainlink, or they use private data feeds from their enterprise partners.
Got it. So FLR's got it built in. Hedera uses some outside sources.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about governance.
How do these platforms like make decisions and implement changes and like how do they evolve over time?
Well, Hedera has a governing council.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, it's made up of
big companies.
Yeah, large enterprises.
Google, IBM, Boeing.
Yeah.
That seems pretty centralized for blockchain.
It's definitely more on the centralized side, but some people view that as a strength.
Okay.
Because it provides stability.
Okay.
And it attracts institutional adoption.
Yeah, I can see that. But other people in the crypto community are not a huge fan of that.
Not so much. Yeah.
They prefer a little more decentralization.
Yeah.
What about FLR? How do they handle it?
So FLR's goal is to have a decentralized governance model.
Okay.
More aligned with like a typical layer one crypto.
It was more community driven.
More community driven, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So we've talked about how they reach consensus. We've talked about smart contracts. We've talked about oracles. We've talked about governance. I think the last thing to kind of go wrap up this sort of introduction is talking about adoption.
Okay.
Like, where do these platforms stand?
Okay.
Compared to like the big boys like Ethereum.
Right.
Like, where are they in the whole ecosystem?
Let's imagine a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
1 being almost no adoption, 10 being like, you're everywhere.
Okay.
Ethereum's probably a 10.
Yeah, for sure. The king of the hill.
Yeah.
Where's FLR at?
I would say FLR's about a 3 right now.
Okay.
They're still very early. Their ecosystem is still growing.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But do they have the potential to grow faster?
I think FLR has the potential to reach like an 8.
Wow. Okay.
At that scale.
So like a huge amount of growth.
Potentially.
Okay.
But there are some hurdles they're going to have to get over.
Like what?
Well, the ecosystem needs to mature.
Okay.
They need more developers. They need more dApps. They need more users.
Right. They need to build out their city.
Exactly.
Attract some residents.
Yeah. And they need more brand awareness.
Okay.
And regulatory clarity is a big one.
Oh, yeah, of course, the regulators.
Yeah, especially with their connection to XRT.
Yeah.
And of course, there's always competition.
Yeah.
From other layer ones.
Yeah. Other blockchains that are already established.
Yeah.
All right. So FLR's got some work to do, but it have the potential.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good kind of intro.
Yeah.
To set the stage for this FLR versus Hedera.
Yeah.
Deep dive.
Round 1.
Round 1.
In the books.
All right. So next time.
We'll
dive a little deeper into some of these features.
Yeah. We'll get into the weeds.
See how they actually work. And compare and contrast.
Compare and contrast and see which one might be better for you.
Sounds good.
All right. I'll see you next time.
See you then. Welcome back to our deep dive comparing FLR and Hedera.
Yeah, last time we kind of set the stage.
Yeah.
We talked about consensus mechanisms and smart contracts.
Yeah.
Governance oracles.
A little like kind of introductory stuff. Yeah. Now I want to get into like the real meat of what makes FLR special.
Okay.
And that's this bridging technology.
Yeah.
This ability to bring like Bitcoin and XRP and all these assets that weren't designed for smart contracts into that world.
Into DeFi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why is that such a big deal?
Well, think about it like Bitcoin, for example.
Okay.
What can you really do with it?
Not a whole lot.
It's mainly just a store of value, right?
Yeah, just hold it.
You can send it to somebody else.
Yeah.
But can you use it in DeFi?
Not really.
Can you use it for NFTs?
No.
No.
So it was like you have all this value locked up.
Yeah.
But you can't really do anything with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so that's where FLR comes in.
Okay.
It allows you to wrap these assets as assets and then use them in all these cool DeFi protocols.
So you can use Bitcoin in DeFi?
You can use Bitcoin in DeFi.
Wow.
You can use XRP in DeFi.
That's amazing.
You can even use them for NFTs.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like unlocking
the potential.
all this potential.
Yeah.
Okay, but how does that even work?
So it uses a system of decentralized validators.
Okay.
And cryptographic proofs.
Okay, I'm already lost.
Okay, so let's say you have some Bitcoin. You want to bring it onto Flare.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lock up your Bitcoin on the Bitcoin blockchain.
Uh-huh.
And then a bunch of validators are going to verify that you actually locked it up.
Okay, so it's not just like one person saying like, yeah, trust me, it's locked up.
No, it's not like that at all.
Okay.
It's a whole bunch of different people, all independently verifying that this happened.
Got it. So it's like a decentralized
escrow system.
Exactly.
Oh, right.
And then once they verified it, then you get a wrapped version of your Bitcoin.
Yeah. So my Bitcoin is safe.
Safe and sound.
In a blockchain vault somewhere.
Yeah.
And I get this like digital representation of it.
Exactly on Flare that I can actually use.
Okay, we can use, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I get that.
Yeah.
But if Flare can already bring XRP onto its platform using this method, why is there also an XRPL EVM sidechain?
Right. So these two things, they sound like they're competing.
Yeah.
But actually they work together.
Okay.
So the XRPL EVM sidechain allows developers to build directly on the XRP ledger.
Okay.
So it's like building a bridge from the Ethereum side to the XRP side.
Got it. So it's like another way to bring those two worlds together.
Exactly.
But instead of like wrapping XRP, you're like building on XRP itself.
Exactly.
Right.
And Flare's CEO, Hugo Fillion, has even said that smart contracts on the XRPL could make FXRP.
Which is the wrapped version of XRP.
Yeah, the wrapped version even better.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's like they're both contributing.
They're both contributing.
To expanding the XRP ecosystem.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this bridging technology.
Yeah.
We've talked about the XRPL EVM sidechain. Let's talk about data.
Okay.
So we know that data is really important.
Very important.
For smart contracts, especially in DeFi.
Yeah.
If you're going to have like these automated financial systems, you need to have accurate data.
You need good data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how does Flare handle that?
So Flare has its own decentralized Oracle system, the Flare Time Series Oracle.
Right, the FTSO.
Or FTSO for short.
We talked about it a little bit last time.
Yeah.
But can you kind of remind us how it works?
Yeah, so basically you have all these data providers.
Okay.
And they're staking FLR tokens as collateral.
Okay.
To say like, hey, I'm going to provide good data.
Okay.
And they're submitting data points.
Okay.
Like the price of an asset or something. And the FTSO uses a special algorithm to determine like what the median price is. And the providers that provide good data get rewarded with more FLR tokens.
Okay.
And the ones that provide bad data get penalized.
Oh, so they lose some of their stake.
They can lose some of their stake.
Yeah, okay, so it's like a self-correcting system.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So Flare has its own built-in data system. That means it doesn't have to rely on Chainlink or any of these.
Well, it can still use Chainlink.
Okay.
If it wants to.
Okay.
But it has its own system as well.
So it's like it can choose to use its own data or get data from somewhere else.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about all the cool things that Flare and Hedera can do.
Yeah.
But how do they actually perform?
Yeah.
Like, can they handle a lot of transactions?
Right.
Are they fast? Are they cheap?
Exactly, because that's really important.
Yeah, like if a blockchain is slow and expensive.
No one's going to use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start with Hedera.
Okay.
What can we expect from its performance?
So Hedera has been around for a while.
Okay.
And it's been tested pretty thoroughly.
Okay.
And they can achieve thousands of transactions per second.
Thousands, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Wow.
And they have very fast finality.
Okay.
So your transactions are confirmed very quickly.
So it's like almost instant.
Almost instant, yeah.
Wow.
And very low fees.
So it's fast and it's cheap.
Fast and cheap.
What more could you ask for?
Exactly.
All right, so Hedera's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
What about Flare?
So Flare is still relatively new.
Okay.
So it's still being tested at scale.
Okay.
But the underlying technology is designed for high throughput and low latency.
So it has the potential.
It has the potential.
But we haven't really seen it yet.
Not at that scale yet.
Okay.
But one of the things that Flare is doing is they're using a system called Layer Cake.
Layer Cake, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
What is that?
So basically, it's a way to kind of split up the network into different layers
Okay.
so that you can process transactions more efficiently.
So it's like adding lanes to a highway
Exactly.
to handle more traffic.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're constantly working on other scaling solutions as well.
Okay, so they're trying to make sure that it can handle a lot of users.
Exactly.
A lot of transactions.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But didn't we say that FLR was EVM compatible?
Yes.
Doesn't that mean it has like the same limitations as Ethereum?
So it does inherit some of those limitations.
Oh, okay.
But they're aware of that.
Okay.
And they're working on solutions.
Okay, so they're not just like ignoring the problem.
No, they're actively working on it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about like the technical stuff.
Yeah.
But what about like the user experience?
Yeah.
Like if I'm just a regular person using these platforms, what's it going to be like?
So both platforms are really focused on making the user experience as seamless as possible.
Okay.
They have user-friendly wallets, intuitive interfaces, and they're trying to make it very easy to understand how to use these platforms.
Okay, so they're not just building it for like the crypto nerds.
No, not at all.
They want everyone to be able to use it.
Exactly.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, so we've talked about Hedera's performance.
Yeah.
We've talked about FLR's performance. Who do you think has the edge?
It's tough to say.
Yeah.
I mean, Hedera's been around longer.
Right.
So it has a proven track record.
Right. It's like the reliable workhorse.
It is.
You know it's going to get the job done.
Yeah.
But FLR has all this new technology. It has the potential to really change things.
It does.
So it's like the up-and-comer.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's going to be successful yet.
Right.
But it could be huge.
It could be. Yeah.
Okay, so it's too early to call.
Yeah. It's too early.
We'll have to wait and see.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up our deep dive.
Yeah, I think so.
Into FLR versus Hedera. We talked about a lot of stuff.
We did.
The technology, the use cases, the performance, the community.
The potential.
Yeah, the potential.
The risks.
The risks. Yeah, we covered it all.
Yeah.
So hopefully you learned something.
I hope so.
And hopefully you're excited
to
see what the future holds
definitely
for these two platforms.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.